Someone's having a nice time.
Well, not us, that's for sure.
You know we have to do this.
I don't know any such thing.
You agreed.
I agreed to the meeting. Doesn't mean I think it's right.
Well, if people had been open and honest in the first place, we wouldn't be in this mess, would we?
Well, just the opposite, actually.
What do you mean?
If that blooming nurse had accepted the death certificate when I asked her to, none of this would have happened, would it? Not any of it.
Joe, can you give me a hand again with my computer?
Oh, no. What's up with it now?
Who knows? I think it's time to scrap it and get another one.
Oh, don't give up on it just yet. See what we can do first. I'll get that, would you, Candy?
For goodness sake, Phil, I've already explained why I can't get away for lunch. I'm sorry, OK? Yeah, I know it's important. We can talk about it when I get home. Yeah, well, I'm not too happy about it either. Bye.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Webster. I can't tell you exactly when it's going to be back. Sometime this afternoon? OK. Bye. So what's this big meeting all about, anyway?
Don't ask me. I'm just a lowly practice nurse. One of the big cheeses.
What time are you all back, Caroline?
I have absolutely no idea, and I don't even know what this meeting's about.
Really?
Well, Mac has a mushroom management policy when it comes to giving information to his colleagues. Isn't that right, Joe?
What?
He likes to keep us in the dark.
We were just saying nobody knows what this meeting's all about.
Yeah, well, neither do I.
Well, I'm late.
My name's Rana, and I'm an alcoholic. What's the matter with you lot? Someone died or something?
Get yourself a coffee. We'll be starting soon.
Are you sure I can't get you a sandwich, Joe?
No, thanks. I'm not hungry.
You're not ill, are you?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Okay, don't bite my head off. Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed.
You'll have to come back at 4.
Did you have an appointment?
No, but that's OK, because I'm registered here. Robert Hale. It's a bit of an emergency, see?
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry, you're just going to have to come back later.
Oh, no, it's much more urgent than that, Pat.
Well, if it's a real emergency, you can go down to the A&E at the local hospital.
No, well, it's not that sort of emergency.
And why doesn't that surprise me?
Hey, come on, sweetheart, have a heart.
Look, if you're well enough to walk here, you're well enough to wait for a proper appointment, just like everybody else has to.
Oh, I wouldn't bet on that.
I'm afraid all the doctors are in a conference meeting this afternoon. Only the practice nurses in.
It's OK, because I don't need to see the doctor.
Oh, what exactly is the problem, then?
Oh, this is a bit embarrassing. It's the waterworks. You know, the old bladder problem that's given me Jip, honest.
Well, I'm sure the nurse can fit you in. Just take a sip.
Cheers, darling. Thanks ever so much, sweetie.
Candy, you can't just let anyone walk in here whenever they want to. We do have an appointment system for a reason, you know.
Oh, have a heart. You can see the poor man was in discomfort.
Yeah, well, everybody's in a bit of discomfort, aren't they? Else they wouldn't be coming here.
Well, I was only...
Candy, I don't mean to criticise you, but when you've been here as long as I have, you get to understand why the systems are in place.
Right. Well, I'll just get the sandwiches then, shall I?
Right, Mr. Hale.
Come in. Oh, thanks, Joe. It's working fine again.
Good. Hasn't Mr. Hale been in to see you?
No.
Oh, OK, sorry.
Was he supposed to? Who is he?
Oh, it's just an emergency appointment. Candy decided that you could have a quick look at him.
Did she now?
Is that going to be a problem?
No, just catching up with some paperwork. Give me a couple of minutes and send him in.
Well, I will do if I could find him. Right. Bladder problem taken care of?
Yes, thank you, my lovely.
Thought as much. You could have just asked, you know.
Could have done.
Sorry, I got held up.
Well, now we're all here, perhaps you could tell us why.
Yeah, OK. Look, I'm sorry to drag you away from the surgery, but I thought that, well, I didn't want anyone to overhear us. It's about Joe.
What about Joe?
The overdose she took? It transpires that she's been having problems for some time. She was very depressed. Far more than any of us realised. She was not herself, and it made her... well, it made her act outside her normal behaviour patterns.
Do you want to put that in English, Mac?
She'd become dependent on the tranquilizer Steve was prescribing, and when he stopped, she stole prescriptions and forged his signature, repeatedly over a long period of time.
I've got Faith's roll here. Should I take it through or is she still with Mr. Hale?
No, he's gone.
That was quick.
That's because he just wanted to use the toilet. His little emergency was that he wanted a wee-wee.
Oh, sorry. Probably couldn't have waited a couple of hours to see a doctor then.
I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of the situation. It's a sensitive issue. Anyway, I have given Jo an official warning and told her we were going to leave it at that.
What?
We're all going to have to keep an eye on her. Of course we are. She's still very fragile, and she is having counselling.
And do you think that's the only issue here?
Well, it is now.
No, Mac, it isn't. It's far from being the only issue.
Look, can we just calm down?
Well, that's all very well for you to say, but you've had a few weeks to get calm about it, haven't
Now,
you?
wait a minute, Rana. It has not been easy on Kate.
Why?
Because she was on at me to get this out in the open right from the beginning.
Well, she was right, wasn't she?
I really thought you would understand the position I was in.
The trouble is, Mac, I don't think you understood the position you were in.
What do you mean?
I mean, Jo committed a criminal act. It's fraud, Mac, and by doing nothing, by not taking the proper steps, that makes you an accomplice. And what's more, you're asking us to do the same thing. So I think you'd better tell us the whole story now, don't you?
That is one of the things I miss about the USA. The coffee.
Not the men?
Well, not this season.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I know. Why do you think I'm marrying you?
Because you're secretly addicted to brown ale and you want to get your hands on my brewery.
Mm-hmm. It's not exactly your brewery I want to get my hands on. Are you going to be all right on your own while I'm in London?
Well, I don't know. Are you sure you wouldn't like me to come shopping with you?
For my wedding outfit? You're silly. That's girls' work.
Is Caroline coming with you?
Oh, no, no. She has a very important meeting she absolutely has to attend. Oh, here is the list of all the relatives that haven't responded yet.
What do you want me to do with it?
I want you to give that list to Caroline. She can chase them up. And don't let her off the hook. I know how she is. We're running out of time, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Darling, are you absolutely sure you want to go through with this?
I've never been more sure of anything in my whole life. Now go and get that wedding dress before I change my mind.
Oh.
I can't believe you didn't tell us any of this.
She came to me as a patient, Helen. There is such a thing as confidentiality, you know.
Not where crime's involved, there isn't. And you told Mac, didn't you?
Yes, but...
No buts, Steve. It's either confidential or it wasn't. And it obviously wasn't because you discussed it with Mac. You even discussed it with Kate.
At the time, there was no crime involved, was there? Jo was very depressed. We all know how badly Jess's death affected her. I prescribed her some tranquilizers, that's all.
Maybe that was a mistake.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe it was. But she came to me for some help. And I thought that's what I was giving her.
That's why talking amongst ourselves can help.
Yeah, well, thanks, Rana, but I don't really need any lessons in good doctoring from you. Anyway, it was only meant to be for a short time. I didn't go on prescribing her. I'm not a complete idiot. I thought she was okay. She had me fooled.
She had us all fooled.
Some more than others.
Look, can we try and be civilized about this?
I suggest we keep it professional, which is more to the point.
Right. Who's for some more coffee?
Take it, take it.
Hello? No, it's good timing, actually. We're just having a coffee break. Yeah, that's fine. I did promise that I'd help, and let's face it, arranging flowers and bridesmaids isn't my thing. But I can shout at people over the telephone.
You can say that again.
No. Well, why don't we meet in the pub about 5:30? You can give me the list then. Something tells me I'll be needing a drink then.
No, Mrs. Webster. As I've already explained, he isn't back yet. No, and I don't know when he will be back. Absolutely. I shall get him to contact you as a matter of top priority. All right, then. Bye-bye. She wanted me to give her Mac's mobile number.
Probably not a good idea.
Not if I want to keep my job.
It's a matter of trust, Mac, and it's quite obvious you haven't been honest with any of us.
Hang on, we haven't lied about anything. We just thought it was best to wait for a while.
And what does that say about our partnership, if you and Mac decide what's best for the practice behind our backs?
It wasn't like that. We were just concerned about what was best for Joe.
At what cost to the practice?
At no cost to the practice.
Well, maybe not now. But what if Joe had died? On drugs prescribed from this practice by Steve.
But I didn't prescribe them, did I? She took a whole cocktail of Jess's drugs, as you very well know. Had nothing to do with what I justifiably prescribed her in the past.
That's as maybe. But you, Mac and Kate, have been accomplices under the law in covering up for her theft and forgery.
Actually, that's not true.
You just admitted it.
I've talked to our lawyers and I've talked to the CPS and we're okay. We're under no legal obligation to report it to the police. They were quite clear about that. We can deal with this matter between ourselves. And if anyone doubts that, I'll give you the number and you can phone him yourself.
All right, that may be true, but everything's far from okay. The point is, we feel disappointed, we feel let down. And quite frankly, I don't see how Joe can be permitted to carry on working at the surgery.
Can I help you?
I hope so. Would it be possible for me to see Dr. Maguire?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid surgery's closed now until later this afternoon.
I only wanted a repeat prescription.
I'm afraid all the doctors are in a meeting until after lunch, and only a doctor can sign a repeat prescription. That's right, isn't it, Joe?
That's right.
Oh. Well, I'd best come back this afternoon then.
Oh, no, Mr. Tyler, have yourself a little seat here. Get your breath back, and we'll get you a nice cup of tea. Thanks, Candy. He likes it milky.
Not going soft, are you? Letting people in without an appointment?
It's different when someone's in genuine distress.
You must think I'm really gullible.
Well, I suppose it's better to be gullible than hard-hearted. We are here to help people, after all. And after a while, you get to spot the genuine emergencies.
I suppose so.
Believe me, we all get taken in once in a while. Thank you.
As our practice receptionist, she was in a position of trust. She stole prescriptions and forged your signature. Now, perhaps we can talk about not reporting her to the police, but there is no way she can carry on working at the surgery. She's completely abused the trust we placed in her.
There were special circumstances.
Special circumstances like when she completely flouted doctor-patient confidentiality and read her grandmother's medical notes.
It's all the same thing, Helen. Jessie's death threw her judgment out of the window. She didn't know what she was doing. She was traumatised.
Traumatised? Come on, Max, she was upset. Her grandmother was terminally ill. She was in agony and she made it perfectly clear she wanted to die. Now, of course, those are upsetting circumstances, but not enough on their own to traumatise someone unless there was something else.
I don't believe this.
What? Let's just move on, shall we?
It was Joe all along, wasn't it? Jo killed Jessie, didn't she?
Mac?
Here we are, Mr. Tyler.
Thank you.
All right. So, what exactly is the problem, then?
Well, I've lost my inhaler.
Oh, you're asthmatic?
Yeah.
Are you suffering now?
Well, no. Well, not really. I'm not having an attack. I'm breathless, that's all. It's a long walk.
OK, so you're worried you might need it?
Oh, I take it everywhere. I don't like to be without it.
All right, then. Well, don't worry. I'm sure we'll be able to sort something out for you.
I thought you said you needed a doctor to sign a prescription.
Oh, for goodness sake, isn't it about time you told us the truth?
Come on, everyone. This hasn't been easy for Mac, you know. He's had to deal with this all by himself. It was him that was arrested, him that was put on trial for murder. Him that could have been put away for years.
Are you saying Helen's right?
Yes. OK. Joe gave Jessie the morphine that killed her. There.
Don't worry, Mr. Tyler. I'll contact one of the doctors, get them to arrange a repeat prescription for you. Somebody will drop it off at the chemist, and I'll let you know when it's ready to be collected.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right, it's no problem.
She killed her grandmother and you've done nothing about it.
What is there to do?
You were on trial for murder.
Yes, he was, but it wasn't murder, Rana. She assisted in Jessie's suicide.
That's not the point.
Actually, it is the point. None of us thought that Mac was guilty of murder when he was on trial, did we?
That was different.
What? Because we trust him? Or because he's a doctor and Joe's only a relative?
Either way. Look, I'm sorry, Mac. If you think we're going to sit back and do nothing, then you must be living in cloud cuckoo land.
I did what I thought was right for Joe, what was right for the practice.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? We are a practice, not a dictatorship. And you've no right to make unilateral decisions without consulting us first.
And I can't see that you're prepared just to forgive and forget just like that. I mean, after what she put you through, the trial, Kate losing her baby...
If Kate and I are prepared to forgive her and try and move on, is it so much to ask you to do the same?
I'm sorry, yes it is.
Well, the decision has been made. We're just going to have to live with it.
Actually, no. I don't see that the decision's already been made. How can it have been? We've only just found out about it. It's not just up to you, it's up to all of us. Now, you want us to do nothing, to forget about Joe's part in Jessie's death. Well, doesn't that make us all accomplices?
And I can't believe that it is that easy to forgive and forget. Is it, Kate?
No. No, I don't suppose it is.
I was impressed with you out there.
It's all part of the job.
I suppose so. I guess I didn't really realise what was involved.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. Well, when I started, I thought it'd be just reception work, filing, taking appointments.
Yeah, well, it is mainly.
Yeah, but it's dealing with people, though, isn't it? You're good at that.
Oh, thanks.
You ever thought of being a nurse?
Why?
I think you'd be good at it.
Well, yes, actually. At one time I did.
Why didn't you?
Dunno. Actually, it's probably because I'm not confident enough.
You should think about it.
Well, maybe I will.
What's stopping you?
I think we should inform the police, and right now. It's as simple as that.
It is not as simple as that.
Well, I don't know, Mac. I think Helen's right. I mean, let's be very clear about this. Jo committed fraud, and she committed manslaughter at best. I think you've put us all in a very difficult position.
We didn't mean to.
Maybe, but you have. If we say nothing, we're as guilty as you are. So what do? Do we let Jo get away with it, or do we report her and put the practice in jeopardy?
I thought Joe was supposed to be a friend.
Oh, come off it, Mac.
No, Helen. Believe it or not, I actually do value the people I work with, and if someone's in trouble, I try to help. And I expect you all to do the same. Look, Jo loved her gran, and she was put in an impossible situation. I wasn't strong enough to help, and neither was Jack, but it seems that Jo was. She gave Jess the help she needed.
That's not the point, Mac.
Will you let me finish? Because that is exactly the point. In the end, she wasn't strong enough, was she? The guilt played on her mind, and she suffered from clinical depression. She acted out of confusion and despair because she was trying to do the right thing. Yes, she was wrong, and yes, she should have told us, but she didn't, and she had a breakdown, and she tried to kill herself. Look, hasn't she suffered enough? For all intents and purposes, the situation is sorted. That we throw her life away, do we? Over petty office policies. This is Jo we're talking about. Please, let's just give her a chance.
Penny for 'em.
Hey?
You look miles away.
I was just thinking.
Sounds serious.
Something that Candy said earlier.
Not too serious, then. About me doing a nurse's course.
Well, If me and Candy carried on job sharing, I could do a degree, couldn't I? Part-time.
Don't see why not.
But do you think that they'd want me?
Jo, the health service is crying out for bright, enthusiastic, caring people like you. Of course you could do it. Go for it.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we can afford to give Jo a chance. After everything I've heard today, I'm not confident that she should be allowed to carry on working in healthcare.
What about you, Kate? Would you be comfortable leaving Jo in charge of your child? I mean, if she is as disturbed as you say, then she could be a danger to our patients, and we can't take that risk, morally, or any other way.
Oh, come off it. I've spoken to Jo. I think the counselling's helping, and I think she's stable.
Well, forgive me if I don't take your expert opinion, but it was you who thought she was cured before she started to steal prescriptions, forging your signature and try and kill herself.
That's not fair.
I think it's perfectly fair.
Either way, we can hardly keep a drug addict, a forger and a murderer as our receptionist, can we?
Will you act your age for once?
Actually, Kate, I know he hasn't put it too diplomatically, but Rana does have a point.
Well, Jo's heart's in the right place. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't have acted the way I did. I think she deserves a second chance. Actually, I think we all do.
So, Kate, you're the practice manager. Do you really think Jo should be allowed to stay on at the practice?
Actually, no. No, I don't. I care for Jo. I think she's had a terrible time, but I think it's best that she goes. For all of us, but most of all for Jo. Well, she needs to put this behind her, and she's not going to do that if she stays here.
Kate?
No, Mac. Look, I've been thinking about this for a long time. And it really is best all round if she goes. You've seen the attitude she's going to have to face if she stays. It's not going to work.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
Oh.
Let's put the matter to the vote and settle it. If we're not going to report it to the police, she has to at least leave the surgery. All those who agree with me.
Whoa, if we're going to have a vote, can we think about it first?
Thanks a lot, Kate.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, well, you've made me look a complete idiot.
Oh, Mac wouldn't let me tell anybody.
Well, you could have told me. I was treating her. She could have died, you know, Kate.
I know.
Yeah, well, this is such a mess.
I'm asking for your support in this. You are my senior partner.
Well, perhaps you should have remembered that before now.
Yeah, well, I should have talked to you. I admit it.
I can't believe you'd think I'd suggest sacking Jo just because I'm annoyed with you. I thought you thought more of me than that.
Oh, come on, Ellen, you know I do.
Then why won't you listen to what I'm saying? You can't take everything on your own shoulders. This affects everyone in the practice. Kate's right, whatever the rights and wrongs of the matter. I think it's best for Jo herself to move on. And it's certainly best for the practice. We better get back. Let's get this over with. All those in favour that Jo should be allowed to leave, please raise your hands.
Right, who's going to tell her?
I will.
You don't have to.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you go home?
I can't. I've got to see Jo.
You can wait till tomorrow. It's waited this long.
Yeah, thanks. I can't face her now.
I know.
Let's take a seat. Hiya. Good meeting. Where's Mac?
Got a bit of a migraine. He's taking the rest of the day off.
Mrs. Webster will be disappointed.
Thanks, cheers. Hiya. Got your Chardonnay.
Oh, I could kiss you.
Steady. I'm engaged, remember? Speaking of which, here's your mother's list of things to do.
Thank you.
Bad day?
Oh, you could say that.
You want to talk about it?
No. I want to drink some wine and talk about anything else. Even the wedding.
Think I can manage that?
Good.
Cheers.
Do you fancy coming for a drink, Jo?
No, not tonight.
great. It's just an idea.
Sorry, I'm just a bit tired, that's all. Hey, maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow would be good.
Okay.
Thanks for the meal, David. It's just what I needed.
Shame I don't do Chardonnay on the National Health Day.
Oh, it's just as well. Otherwise, I'd be writing out my own prescriptions. Oh. Right, well, I'd better go. Mum will be back soon, no doubt.
She won't be back to the early hours.
No, I better go. I should be ringing round those relatives. You know what she's like.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the registry office then. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Get another round on me. Cheers. I don't think we should be driving, do you?
No.
Want to share a cab? There you go.
Thanks.
Well, good night.
What are you doing?
Nothing. We shouldn't be doing this.
No. I know.
Caroline?